Friends, welcome back to additional English class of third semester. Now we are in the 20th session. In last of few sessions, we have discussed the play A Sunny Morning. So it's a play that has its major themes, love and romance. Now let's try to read this one-act play from another aspect, that is a play that depicts the irony of human lives. So under this we shall study how Lara and Gonzalo's life is ironical. So what is irony? First of all, let's try to understand this literary device called irony. Irony is a situation in which something which was intended to have a particular result, but it has the opposite or a very different result. It also can be stated as it is a state of affair or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often wryly amusing as a result. So as we understand these definitions, irony is something opposite in its action. We expect something to happen, but something opposite happens. That is irony. Well, let's try to understand this play, A Sunny Morning, from this point of view. For instance, Gonzalo and Lara, who were lovers in their youth, meet in a public park as strangers in their old age. That is to say, they don't know, they do not identify themselves. Besides meeting as strangers, they start quarreling. If you remember, as they enter the park, they start quarreling over the issue of benches and pigeons. Observe this conversation in which they argue over the benches in the public park and the pigeons which Lara is feeding. So it's an irony that lovers of the past meet as strangers in their old age and start arguing and quarreling. So this is one instance. They also start abusing each other. See, when Gonzalo goes away in search of a bench, Lara calls him an ill-natured old man, and she also, in a childish manner, says he should not get a seat, he should not get a bench to sit. That is for he has scared away the pigeons which were feeding on the crumbs which Lara gave them. She also criticizes his actions of wiping sweat from his face and also his walking style. Since he is an old man who suffers from the joint pains, he drags his leg, somehow he drags his leg as he walks. So this is what Lara compares as a carriage. She compares him to a carriage that raises dust. And Gonzalo is also good at abusing her, saying she is a senile old lady. She ought to be at home knitting and counting her beads. So this is how they start using abusive language to each other. So this is ironical. Even though, let us consider some more instances where there is irony in the play. Even though they recognize each other through their conversation, they do not reveal themselves and pretend to be not knowing each other. So this is more ironical. Yes, they meet as strangers, that's all right, but even when they reveal their identities, they pretend that they have not revealed or they have not identified each other. So look at this conversation in which they talk about the place or the villa in Valencia, which is called Maricela. It's the name of a villa in which this Lara Laurent, the Silver Maiden, lived, and where Gonzalo used to pass by and talk to her and give her flowers. But still, they do not reveal themselves to each other directly, rather they talk aside and reveal the truth to the readers. First it is Lara who identifies Gonzalo, saying it is Gonzalo, and later Gonzalo also identifies Lara, but both of them do not show it to each other. So it's ironical, and it is more ironical that they tell their own stories as if it was Lara's friend's story and Gonzalo's cousin's story. Lara says, it's not my story, it is my friend's story. Gonzalo narrates his own story as his cousin's story. So this is more ironical. Most ironical is that they cook up stories of their own and in which they kill themselves. Gonzalo says, after the unwanted incident that took place, there was a duel between this Gonzalo and Lara's suitor, the merchant. There was a duel between them in which Gonzalo wounds the merchant, and so as to escape the circumstances, he escapes from the scene, goes to some other place, and this is what Gonzalo depicts like. He went to different places, then worked as a soldier and died in action in Spain, holding the flag of Spain and muttering the name of Lara. So this is how he cooks up the story. He is still alive, but he cooks up the story in which he kills himself. Lara also kills herself in the way that she drowned in the sea. So even when these two sad lovers who were separated in their youth, now they meet in the age of around 70, and while narrating their own stories, they come to know they are the same persons of the past, but they hide this fact, and in the stories that they narrate, they kill each other. So this is most ironical. But inside their hearts, they know that they are lying. They are telling lies. So Lara says, what an atrocious lie. And Gonzalo says, I couldn't have killed myself more gloriously. So even when they know the truth, they do not reveal their identities. So that's how this play can be read from the point of irony. It's very ironical that they were separated, and even when they meet in their old age, they have reasons to not reveal their identities. They kill themselves in their own stories that they cook up, and this is how the play reads very ironical. Their life is very ironical. That's how the title, the topic to discuss the play is A Sunny Morning as a play of human ironies. So with this, test your understanding by going through the multiple choice questions. With that, let us end this session. Thank you.